Talk to IEK, Institute of Engineers of Kenya. Talk to contractors of Kenya, all engineers in Kenya. Before a road is developed, there's a fund allocated in the budget. That's why we need a budget. We cannot read a budget, then we act as if there's no budget. That money had been allocated for. So capitation in schools, it had been put in the budget and passed in parliament. The capitation in education, the ones for NHIF, SHA, all that had been put in the budget. Now what is happening is that instead of that money coming to you, that money goes to him or her. The him and her, you know them. I'm not here to name names, but even if I don't name names, you know them. That is the main problem why there's no money in circulation. So you cannot have at the same time a budget passed. You cannot have at the same time over borrowing. You have over taxation, but you have pending bills. Let me give you an example to understand this. Suppose you are a husband at home and you have sat down with the family and agreed on the family budget of how much money is used for shopping every month, how much money is used for paying your house help, how much money is being used for taking out the household expenditure, education for children, XYZ. Then you tell your wife that out of all this money, 60% I will give you in my salary. Here it is. Or I earn X amount of salary, so this salary can take care of that expenditure. But because the other 40% you don't have, why don't you take a loan? Then your wife allows you. You sign a document. You go to the bank, you get a loan. But now, after you have dedicated 6% of your salary to the household expenditure, and then 40% coming from loans, you ensure your household has not been paid. There's no money for shopping. Kids can't go to school. How can your wife understand that? One thing, you are corrupt. Ama, you have mpango wa kando. Or there's someone eating your money. So Kenyans, who is eating your money, which is in the budget that you're not getting? Kenyans, who is eating your money, which has been borrowed but has not come to you? Kenyans, who is eating your money that you're being overtaxed and you can't see it? So when you have a pending bill, means that there's somebody who has stolen money. The government of William Ruto is the most corrupt government in history. It has broken a record of the highest taxation, the highest borrowing, and the highest spending bills, and the lowest economic growth, and zero job creation. So Kenyans, what we need to do is, as a solution, we need to move to a production economy, because this consumption economy is more prone to corruption, where people import toothpick, import rice, and they get kickbacks. So corruption is the order of the day. We need to move production economy. Production economy is whereby if we put the wheels of the economy moving, let's say, like you see bicycles moving, boda moving, the taxis are moving, but also for that to move, we need to produce. We are importing too much and we are producing nothing. We need to do roads, open up markets, ensure that we produce each and every product. That's why in my evolved economic model, I have come up with a way by saying our symbol is this: 5 fish and 2 loaves. 5 fish and 2 loaves. Why 5 fish and 2 loaves? The analogy is that when we had independence, when we took over government, the first president, that is Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, came up with his kitchen cabinet and a few people in government. Those ones were 5,000 people. And just like Jesus fed 5,000 people during his time, he continued feeding 5,000 people during his time, which was almost over 1,600 years after Jesus' time. Then when Moi came, he said, Nitafuata nyayo. He also started feeding 5,000 people. What do I mean? They choose people in their inner circle who become billionaires, they become millionaires, while every Kenyan remains poor. So instead of feeding just 5,000, they cannot feed the other 50,000. So just feeding 5,000 are your friends, your colleagues, your inner circle, and the rest. Then after that, you talk about when Kibaki took over, he also just created his inner circle clique. Those are 5,000 people being fed, leaving the rest outside. The rest are left out. The rest are just excluded. And that's what about the issue of economic inclusion. is a big problem in Kenya. Economic inequalities, political inequalities, these are very serious issues because 5,000 people are rich, the rest of the 50 million Kenyans remain poor. Now, when Uhuru took over, he just felt his inner circle. Maybe even there are some people from opposition joining them, like Raila Odinga, but those are very few people. There's 5,000 people. William Ruto also has his own 5,000 people who are eating. Hata ukisikia broad-based government, we are in Homa Bay, only 5,000 people in total are eating. The rest people are left hungry, no education, no healthcare, and the rest. So what we are talking about evolve, we need to move from feeding 5,000 to feeding 56 million Kenyans by not allowing economy to benefit the chosen few, but to benefit everybody. So how do we do that? We should go to each and every economic blocks. We have 11 economic blocks we have created. Economic blocks are not following the county system. There are only 11 economic blocks. Coast is economic block. Western Kenya is an economic block. Nyanza is an economic block. We can go to the Ma is an economic block. You can go to Northeastern is economic block. Central Kenya is an economic block. We also have these other sides of Nairobi, Kajiado, those are economic blocks. So if you put them together, even Eastern Province is an economic block. Northeastern is an economic block. So those 11 economic blocks together, the idea of Evolve is to choose 7 sectors. Those are 5 fish and 2 loaves. 7 sectors. 5 fish, 2 loaves. So let's give example. You go to Coast Province. You take the sector of tourism. That's 1 sector. So that's 1 loaf. You take another sector, cashew nuts. Agriculture is a sector. You go to another sector, mining is a sector. You go to another sector, you can talk about education. Education will remain in all regions will have education. So if you pick these 7 sectors and ensure they are able to produce and generate revenue, they'll create jobs, they'll create incomes, it will reduce inequality. And then you can now feed 56 million Kenyans instead of only feeding 5,000 Kenyans. If economy cannot produce, we shall build economy based on corruption. So who rules Kenya now? It's corruption. The president bribes people, and the people passes laws he wants. And the people who are being bribed also have to ask for a bribe. You want a job, you ask for a bribe. You want to have a police job, you have to have a job. You have to bribe. You have to want a military job, you have to bribe. You want to become a teacher, you have to bribe. You want to get a tender, you have to bribe. And that cannot be how to run economy. Economy that cannot produces a lot of what? Corruption and inequalities. So Kenyans, you are not getting money because even the money being borrowed is not being put on production. When you put money on production, for example, if we are to be able to produce rice in Kenya without importing, this rice will go into people in Mwea Tabere. If you are now doing mining, you'll put money in the mining in the Coast Province so that the people who are doing mining can put money in their pocket and money will circulate from production to consumption. But here we're only getting money if someone goes to China and imports something from China. Somebody goes to import rice from Japan. Somebody goes to import, I don't know what, from India. And that's why the economy cannot grow. Even the medicine we are consuming in Kenya need to be produced here so that the people producing medicine can produce here. Instead of putting money in Toyota Kenya to do it for you, vehicle servicing, so that the money goes to Japan, just choose Kenyans here who can do servicing. Servicing a new car is just changing oil and water. Why should you give Toyota Kenya 30,000 shillings per car after 9,000 kilometers to do for you what a Kenyan can do? If a Kenyan can dismantle an engine and put things separate and bring it back and it works, what about servicing a brand new car that is only about cleaning? So Kenyans, money is not coming to you because money is staying with them. And I told you Kenyans, we only have 2 tribes in Kenya, looters and the looted. So you are the looted. You need to come together in a ballot revolution on 10th of August 2027 and send these looters home. Don't listen to the stories, former this, former that. In the former, they were eating. Were you eating with them? No. Let them go home. God bless you. God bless Kenya.